Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bea from TheMix and welcome to my kitchen. Today, I will be sharing with you how to keep your bowl, your Thermomix stainless steel bowl, spotless. So there are some very basic tips that I will be running through. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below. These are just some of the examples that I do utilize for myself. And keeping my bowl clean is quite simple with these tips. So let's start off with the first thing. If you have a TM5 or a TM6, you will know that there is a pre-clean option that is available on your machine. So in order for you, I'm going to show you how to do this on a TM6. When you have your original screen, I call this my driving screen, all you need to do to access your pre-clean is to actually swipe over to your modes screen or your functions. So all you need to do is swipe from right to left, and you will see if you haven't changed any of your settings, the original one is to have your pre-clean as option number 4. So if you touch on that, you will notice that there will be an information screen if you haven't eliminated that in your process of working with your machine. Otherwise, at the top right, you will see an eye, and you can touch on that, and that will give you this screen. So basically, it will run through the 4 options of how you can clean your machine based on temperature. So for example, if you have cooked or made dough, the temperature that the pre-clean will be set at is 37 degrees Celsius. This will change. Universal clean is 55 degrees Celsius. The fat or caramel is 75 degrees, and then the browning is 105 degrees. Now, in other words, depending on what you make or use your bowl for, that is what the temperature will increase to, and in other words, the water that you've put inside your bowl, and it will keep cleaning or keep churning until it's basically cleaning based on resistance. So until it feels, if it still feels there's something on the side of the bowl, under the blades, whatever the case may be, for the level that you've put it at, the water, it will just keep cleaning. So my suggestion is always ensure you make sure when you're pouring in water, you cover those blades so those will be cleaned. And as I suggest, you can just select from one of the 4 options. So that is one way. There are other ways. So this is also, it covers all of the ones that are available here in Australia: TM31, TM5 and TM6. These options are ones that we developed, some of the consultants developed, and these are actually ones before pre-clean was introduced to Thermomix with our new machines. So I'm going to share those with you because you'll be surprised how simple they are. All right, the first one is actually our good old lemon or limes, and these, always make sure you utilize whatever juice is inside and keep these once you have used them. What you need to do then is just chop them as probably a half or in quarters, and then put them straight into your bowl. Put your lid on and go to your driving screen and actually chop them. It doesn't have to be super fine. I usually do it speed number 5 or 6, just for 3 or 4 seconds. And what that will do is make sure these are broken down sufficiently. I will then make sure that I put in about a liter worth of water, and then come back to my driving screen and put on 10 minutes, and then Varoma and speed number 2. Now what that will do, it will make sure that that water will heat up sufficiently for 10 minutes and push that steam through so that your lid will also be cleaned. And while we're on this topic of lids, for those of you that do make curries, you will notice turmeric, or even sometimes if it's tomato-based sauces or whatever, they do tend to stain the lid and the seal. So all you need to do in order to remove that, if you would prefer not to have it stained, is place it straight into the sun outside and let it sit for about 2 or 3 hours, depending on when you're putting it out. It may take longer if it's during winter time, but that will make sure that it gets rid of any staining that happens on your lid. So I'm just going back to that part about the lemon or lime clean. What you want to do once that's finished is make sure, obviously, you drain out that lemon or lime, those little bits, and then check to see if you need to clean the base a little bit longer. I have also seen other consultants utilizing eggs shells. It is an option, but I find that I'm an impatient person. So this is the tip that I would love to share with you instead. So the normal ones are the brushes to make sure that you clean the inside of your bowl. These are available on the TheMix Shop, so have a look at that if you would like to use those. I definitely would suggest those as quick cleans in between dishes, but there are these two little things that are my best friend. So the euroscrubby is not very abrasive. It's a natural product and it will break down a lot better than obviously the plastic option, and this is an earth-friendly option as well. So definitely the euroscrubby you can also get from the TheMix Shop. I find that it gets off any type, especially on the base, if you're using a high heat function, to remove that off. This is a brilliant way to clean your stainless steel, and if all else fails, a little bit of Jif or a small portion of Gumption. But I'm partial to this. It really works well, and it leaves a great finish, a smell in my bowl. So out of all of my options, I would say this is my favorite, because of the fact that it's environmentally friendly. All right, now there's two more that I do want to make mention of, but a really, really great recipe that works all the time is citric acid. And if you haven't heard of this little tip, it's actually putting a cup worth of water. If you find that your bowl has got some browning elements on the base of it, putting in a cup of water and 1 tablespoon, so remember it's a tablespoon, not a teaspoon, worth of the citric acid on the portion where obviously there is some browning on the base. Then what you want to do is, if you have a TM5, you want to boil that water for 10 minutes on Varoma, speed number 1. That should work perfectly. But if you do have a TM6, definitely do yourself a favor and just flick over to your kettle function. And how you access that is actually just swiping over, the same as I showed you with the pre-clean function, and look for your kettle function. Now what you want to do is boil that water, and you will find it will lift a lot of the browning elements on the base of your jug. That always works brilliantly. I have never had an issue with removing anything that has gone and stuck to the base of my bowl, especially when you are caramelizing meat or anything like that with a bit of sauce and it's gone very, very brown. Now the last example I'm going to share with you is not necessarily, you can do this as a cleaning option. I have seen other consultants use it, but this is actually more a little tip using your vinegar. This is cheap as chips and earth-friendly as well. And this is a great way if you're cleaning your bowl for making meringues. Now, what I would suggest is you do a vinegar wash. You can do it, for example, like a liter worth of water. And then I usually do a cup of vinegar, and I will do the 10-minute wash like that. What that will do is remove any fat that you have on your surface of the inside of your bowl. Whenever you are making your meringues, fat and the egg white are not best friends. So for example, you may have cooked a stir fry the night before, or maybe even you've dropped some egg in there at some point and not washed it properly, raw egg or whatever the case may be. I'm talking about the yolks now. That's where the fat content is. Vinegar will be the best option to actually clean the fat off, and that includes also your lid as well. I have on occasion utilized this straight with a kitchen towel and just made sure I've wiped the bowl and also my blade surfaces, because that will ensure that any fat that's on there will be removed completely. So I hope those tips have been helpful for you today. If there is any other tips when it comes to cleaning your bowl, please include them in the comment section below. I would love to know what you do with your Thermomix to get it spotless in your jug. It always is a tricky one. I know a lot of customers sometimes will message me and say, "Bea, I don't know what to do. Why isn't it shiny? It's got like a brown film on it." Another great suggestion, folks, is to pop it in the dishwasher. Don't be scared of getting your little prongs at the bottom wet. It does come apart, so pull it apart, get your blades out, and pop that inside your dishwasher. It works brilliantly. The high heat will definitely wash off whatever elements are on there, and use those other tips that I've suggested a little bit earlier today. And perhaps save this video so that you know you can refer back to it for some little hints and tips, and share them with one of your friends or two of your friends. I hope you have a fantastic afternoon, everybody. I'll be back again tomorrow with some more hints and tips for your thermo server. So join me at 5 p.m. Take care. Bye.